fatal heart impacts, past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions, fact don't ask, grab reactions, jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose, pick a new silver excuse. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're discreet out. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kure Show here, and now, whenever we last left off with this series, we had Deku. And well, after Deku fought his uncle in a rematch for a festival they were holding in the Kure village, Deku was able to hold his own against Ryan, even while he was using his 100% removal. Now, many different cures they saw this. Ryan has been seen as the epitome of what a cure can possibly be. However, they just watched him get manhandled by his nephew, and quite simply beaten once he started using his own removal. So it's kind of terrifying in what they might have just seen. They just watched an unstoppable force stop and take an actual fucking beating. Now, with that being said, Deku talked to his mother briefly, and there actually is where somebody did actually come to the Kure village to witness this event. And they were very curious to meet the winner of this tournament. Now, with that, you do actually have where Deku, he's currently sitting down with his grandfather. The two are in a private room in the Kure's family home. And Deku, he does find it to be quite strange. He hasn't really been here in a long time. It's been, well, over a few years to almost a decade. Deku, he remembers coming here from time to time. This is the place where he first got his contract. The place where he first, trained to murder a man. And he does remember it pretty vividly. And he's currently sitting down on his knees, and he's just wondering, as he's sitting across from his grandfather who's doing the exact same thing. The two are supposed to be currently enjoying the festival that's going down. However, they're here right now alone. You wish to speak to me, grandfather? Yes, Izuku. I'm quite curious. I wish to know that technique you used. Yes, grandfather. That technique was my removal. Is it? I see. I'm curious. How long has it been since you used it? It's been about 3 years, grandfather. 3 years? That's impressive. Is it? I've been avoiding using that technique. My teachers, they've all told me many things about it. They've tried to redirect me in a way. And that 1 year I spent training my removal, I was told to get a grasp on it. I remember at some points in my training, was not allowed to fight. And you know what that does to a kure. I understand. However, the way you acted out there, even after turning on that power, how did you feel? I felt amazing. It was just this rush of adrenaline and euphoria. My power came back to me so suddenly, and I noticed it was a little fun. Yes, it is. Your attitude. You've been through much, haven't you, grandson? Yes, grandfather. My teachers have informed me that my attitude is a problem. And I did have to correct myself after many, many years. Hmm. You're not the same young man who left, are you? I do not believe so. No. As soon as I started my journey back home, it all felt strange. I feel this unusual sensation. My urge for battle, I have control of it, grandfather. I see. Well, that's what I wanted to know. Do you wish to fight me? I would, yes, grandfather, but the festival is currently going on. Now, this is actually where he's kind of taken aback by that. It's hard for him to understand. The mighty demon just tried challenging his grandson, and he just refused. In the past, any curate, they jump on that offer. Ryan, Inko, Ryan, Inko, his other daughter, even curies outside the main branch. A chance to spar with him is seen as rare. And Deku just turned one down? Now, Deku's grandfather, he does actually go to stand up, informing Deku to do the same as well. Now, Deku does so as the two they do go walking out the door, as the old man does put a hand on Deku's shoulder as the two do walk out. Now, the old man whispers a few things to Deku. He's very proud of him. The Cure's capacity for battle is hard to tame. Even he has trouble controlling it sometimes. However, there is what you get once you tame that uncontrollable urge. And then there's actually him. Now, Deku is surprised to hear these words from his grandfather, as he does reveal to Deku that he believes Deku is an evolution. Grandfather, are you serious? I'm an evolution? No, that can't be possible. The last evolution was 200 years ago. The Curie in the main branch, they haven't made a jump like that in centuries. Grandfather, is what you say true? Yes, young Izuku. If you truly are an evolution, and you have the ability for that power, you can achieve great things. And then I'm curious to know what you've done with the Nico style. Yes, grandfather, that is another story. I'm willing to share, but I would like to keep what I learned with that secret for now. Hmm? Grandson, you do realize exactly what you're saying, don't you? Yes, I know. The Nico style has to change and evolve. It has to be learned and taught. However, I've learned many styles, grandfather. Even the Kure style. And let me tell you, what I can do now, it makes what we can do look small. I mean that with no disrespect. However, you need to be aware. If I truly am what you say, then you know what will happen in the future, won't you? I do. However, you should know. You really shouldn't try to get an old man so... well, riled up. It's very difficult for me to move around nowadays. In fact, I've even noticed my removal has gone down. Grandfather, are you serious? Yes, I do. I am. I do not believe I am very much long for this world anymore. Grandfather, you know what that will mean. You can't leave us yet. Izuku, I believe that you are what we need. You will lead the clan into the future. And one day, you will look back on this conversation and see it from my perspective. You may not understand these words now. However, the day you do, you will understand exactly where my faith is. Now, Deku does just stare at his grandfather. As the two, they're going back to the festival. And it does make Deku wonder. As his grandfather, he does stare at Deku. The white hair he sees growing. He's got his hair pulled back into a ponytail. And then he's got it folded over somewhat like a samurai. He can see the white hair sticking out of it. And it does make him question it. He understands what type of training Deku must have gone through. Deku, from what he understands, he's been able to control the demon within. The power a kure can throw around so recklessly, so violently. Deku, he's able to control. He's no longer consumed by the demon. He has it working with him, working for him. Deku is no longer a slave to it. It is a slave to him. Now, the old man, he does know that Deku, he can control it. He lets it slumber. However, he also knows when to awaken it. So, he wants to give Deku a title befitting what this is to him. Exactly why he is special. And he does actually announce to everybody Deku's title as a sleeping demon. Now, it's quite interesting to many people. The title many don't understand. And that actually is whenever Deku does start to enjoy the festival. Now, as Deku, he is actually walking around. He does walk into an old shop he does remember. As he does walk in and go to sit down. As he does actually see somebody standing in the corner or sitting down in the corner at a table looking at a bowl of ramen that's currently been put in front of them. As they're asking the kure woman exactly what is in this. And the kure is listing off a few of the ingredients. The person getting a bit annoyed before at least asking about the spices. And they're currently listing off a few things that have been put inside. Now, the woman, she does actually look kind of surprised. As there actually is whenever Deku, after he sat down, and he did actually go to raise his hand up in a certain way, somebody did walk over to him. As they did actually go to stare at Deku for a minute before he did go to look up. And they see the kure eyes. What branch? The main one. I see. Champion? Izuku Kure. Yes. Perfect. It's been a while, young man. It has. It has. I wish for the usual. And how many bowls would you like? 3. I see. Quite the appetite today, aren't you? Yes. Long journey. Alright. Now, the person they do go to walk away quickly, as they do return a few minutes later with the bowl Deku, or the bowls Deku has ordered. Now, the person sitting down in the corner, they actually look up to see Deku, as they do see that he does have the same red-colored bowls that they do have. As they actually watch as Deku, he does start to bring his hands out and grab onto a pair of chopsticks. Before he does start casually eating them and going to destroy one bowl. Then looking on shocked as Deku actually going to bring out the bowl and go to actually drink the broth. Before going to set it down to his left. Now, the person they do immediately stand up, walking over and asking exactly how he can eat that stuff. Now, Deku, he does actually go to just continue eating, as the person to sit down in front of him and go to try and ask that question again, while Deku, he's slurping his noodles. Now, they just look at the expression on Deku's face, as they do think about what exactly is inside that bowl. It's so spicy. Christ. What is even that paste? It's so bad. It's too hot. They feel like they're gonna puke. Now, Deku, he does just stare up at this person, as it's a blonde girl with her hair down, and she does at least look to be somewhat strong. However, it's kind of strange. She's not a kure. Now, Deku, he actually has to go to finish off the noodles and go to actually drink the broth, before putting it down to his left and going to actually ask exactly what she wants. I want to know how you can eat that stuff. The broth, it just, I can't even smell it. Hmm. Yeah, you really can't. It's got some of the world's hottest spices inside of it. Truly a kure delicacy. A kure delicacy? I feel like I'm gonna puke. That's the idea. Only a true kure can stomach this stuff. I don't even know how you can eat that. I mean, I looked some of the stuff up on my phone, and it says you'll die if you eat too much of it. Hmm. I don't know. I used to eat this stuff all the time as a kid. Deku actually going to reach out for the third bowl, and he does actually go to wrap the noodles around and go to actually bring up a large chunk of noodles, asking her exactly what is she doing in his hometown. Your hometown? I heard there was supposed to be a festival here, and I came for the noodles here too. You guys had a challenge for outsiders? Hmm? Oh, you're here for that. Yeah, this is the place. But you ordered the wrong bowl. I'm sorry? Oh, yeah. Deku actually going to bring the noodles up to his mouth. As he does slurp them up into his mouth, chew them, and swallow them, he does inform her that she actually meant to order the one with the atomic inside of it. The atomic? Oh, yeah. This one has ghost peppers, Carolina Reaper, habanero, and a few others. I don't know. They took my menu. I could list off the rest of them, but that's just the stuff they put inside of it, not even what they boil the noodles inside of. They use a super, super hot concentrated paste. And then there's actually the one you meant to order, which has all this included and a lot more. I think at least 10 other hot sauces inside of it. Uh, that just sounds too bad. I don't think I could stomach that. That's the idea. If you can stomach it, you're an honorary cure. And the meal's free. Oh, I would hope so. Yeah. Anyways, why are you even here? Well, I came here for that. Then I actually wanted to see exactly what type of stuff you guys do here. I looked this place up, and you guys, your town said to be 60, 70% of your own people? Family, right? Hmm? Yeah, that's us. Okay. Well, I do have a question then. How do you. I'm still thinking about that ramen. How do you know your family? Now, Deku actually has to look up at her, as he has to at least go to put two fingers up and go to open his eye a lot, as he has informed her that this is basically how they understand it. Now, the girl she actually is going to stand up and look a bit closer. That eye, the shopkeeper has it, and even a few people she saw around here. Wait, those aren't contacts for the festival? No, all natural. That's weird. You guys have mutations like that? Mutations? Quirks? Oh, no, 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 no. This is just a cure thing. It's not found in at all. No, no ordinary humans. Ordinary? Yeah. The cure we're all bred for battle the day our ancestors, they rolled down the tube. Every single person in my family's legacy line, blood related or not, are all powerful warriors. Warlords, distinguished martial artists, or quite simply, warriors who have proven themselves in battle. My father is such said warrior because he was able to defeat a kure, making that the fifth loss in my family's nearly 1700-year-long line. 1700. Yes. You're pretty open with this information. I've tried asking a few people, but they just look at me weird. Yeah, that's mainly because you're not a kure. Oh, that's strange. Not really. No. Deku does at least go back to his noodles. As the girl should at least ask Deku's name, as she does get Izuku Kure. What should she expected? Anyways, now, Deku, after getting this girl's name, he does at least talk about how he does need to go back towards his actual festival, or at least the celebration they're having. Hmm? What do you mean? I won our fighting tournament. That. Wait, hang on. I heard something about that whenever I showed up in town. Oh, wasn't that hours ago? Yes, it was. I beat my uncle. He is currently recovering and he's still sour about his loss. Oh, it couldn't have been that bad. If it were an ordinary human, he would have been red paste. Okay, that still doesn't sound too bad. We curious take things very seriously. Whenever we activate our secret techniques, we could quite literally rip apart a building made of concrete if we wanted to. And then there's my family line. We're directly linked to the first cures. Your direct descendants? Yes. Now, I'm going to be enjoying this festival then returning home. Please excuse me. Now, Deku he does go to leave. As Katsuki, she is just sitting there with those three bowls. And she does just wonder. Her actually going to pick one up and going to smell the broth. Trying to see if Deku he really got the same thing. However, after she does at least go to pull away for a second and look away, and her eyes do start to water, she does realize that, yeah, he got the same thing. How could he stomach this stuff? It's too spicy even for her. Now, Deku, he does enjoy the festivities, as he does actually do a few more things and head back home. As he does get back to the dojo, he does start to ponder things. The dojo here in the Kure village, it's kind of strange. Technically, any Kure can walk in anywhere and fall asleep. As long as they're in a family member's house, you could say, and people know them, you'd be fine. This dojo, there's currently still people trying to party. And it doesn't really make too much sense. Deku currently lying on the roof, looking up at the stars. He remembers all those times he's been here before, where he's been in the forest. The curious they cut all natural light, or at least cut all man-made light in the city off. Around this time, curious that are somewhat strict on certain schedules. Those who work at night, yeah, they have to work in the dark. Let's just keep it at that. And the ones who do work early mornings and stuff like that, yeah, if they're lucky, the sun will be up by the time they leave. And Deku he does just stare at the stars. He's seen so many of them, and he's seen them in different places before. It's kind of strange. There's even different constellations here. He likes some of the ones he made up in the forest. But even then, is he going soft? Is he really an evolution? He just doesn't feel like his old self anymore. Now, Deku is very conflicted. He feels like he may have just given up his Kure nature. But at the same time, he gets some odd sensation out of it. He gets something from giving up what he's always been. He can return to it, but it just doesn't feel right anymore. He just feels strange. Now, Deku, he doesn't really understand. As you do actually where he does hear something. Now, Deku, after going to stand up and try to pinpoint where the sound came from, he does actually go to turn and walk. Deku walking towards the edge of the building before leaping to the next one. Now, Deku does actually go to walk again and start to look in between the buildings. Him quickly going to at least jump out with a step, land on the next building and go to walk, as Deku does try to pinpoint the sound. Now, you do actually have where Deku does find it. As two men, they do seem to be harassing somebody. And Deku, after looking at that, he does just wait for a second. The person telling them all to back off as they do go to hold their hand, talking about how they have a quirk and they're not afraid to use it. Really? And we have removals. What's a removal? It's where we turn to gods. Now, give us your money. Otherwise, we're going to have a problem here. Now, Deku, he does hear that, as he does go to activate his own removal. And the moment Deku does go to do this, you do actually have where the two men, they do go to freeze for a second. Before the person being mugged, they do actually watch as the knife to start to shake in the guy's hand. As you do actually have where Deku, who shrouded in darkness, he does actually drop down and immediately basically land on top of these two. As he does land behind them, his arm, both of his arms do go to land on both their shoulders. As Deku does creep forwards, asking exactly what they're doing. Now, both of the men, they can feel that bloodlust, and they don't like it. As you actually where Deku does go to bring his hands up towards the back of their necks, informing them about what they're currently doing, and how, by the kure laws, that's illegal. Now, the two men, they do try to say something, and they know right now they're kind of fucked. They got caught by another kure, and from what they can feel, he's stronger than them. Now, you do actually where Deku, he does get to reach his hand up higher, towards the back of both their heads, and he does get to actually grab onto both of the sides of their heads before smashing them together. The two falling and collapsing as Deku is going to turn off his removal. And the person, they do actually feel all that murderous intent and bloodlust suddenly just drop away. Sorry about that. You need to be careful coming here. This place, it is a tourist attraction, as you can call it. However, it's still owned by my family. Your family? That voice. What's your name? Katsuki? So we ran into each other again. Izuku Kure? Yep. Be careful. Quirk uses is technically illegal, but for self-defense, it's not. However, here in Kure Village, if you flash a quirk around like that, it's seen as a challenge. So be careful with it. These guys probably got you because you look like a lost tourist. So where are you trying to go? I'm just trying to find my hotel. Now, Deku does get to list off a name, as she does just confirm, yes, it's that one. And Deku, he does at least point in the direction, telling her that the GPS gets confused in the town here, since they're not really registered or at least haven't mapped out the same way as regular towns are. What she's currently looking for is that way. Head that direction down the road for about a mile or so. Once she sees this landmark in the distance, if it's still on, then she needs to at least turn left and head this direction, that way, that way, that way. Deku basically giving her some very specific directions, as she does just stare at Deku. Now, she does just look at Deku very confused, before Deku just walk forwards and tell her that he'll just take her there, Deku, after stepping on the back of one of these guys, is actually going to reach out and grab Bakugo. Her very surprised, as Deku does tell her that they're going to at least be there in a minute or so. And he does actually go to bend down before activating his removal. As he does jump upwards, and Bakugo, she's somewhat shocked. A guy with a quirk. Now, Deku, after jumping up into the air, he does land on a building, before he just does take off into a sprint and running across the entire area. Before, after a few minutes, they do arrive, and Deku is going to set her down. As he does so, he does at least tell her that they're here. As he is going to turn around and going to walk away. Now, this is actually quite the surprise. Bakugo at least trying to ask him if he's going to be in town for a while, or for a while. Not really, no. Came back here to see family. Leaving tomorrow. Really? Alright. Well, I thank you. I'll be staying in town for a little while. Here. I could buy you a meal to make up for the trip? Don't worry about it. Now, Deku does get to leave. As Bulk goes, she does just wonder about that guy. She just met a guy with a quirk. She just met a guy with a quirk. That's rare. That's got to be a lifetime experience. She has to tell her mother. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. Have an amazing night. I'll catch you guys in the next part.